join. More importantly, thank you to those who joined earlier as requested. Just like we told you all, the first 20 people who joined first as a gift, that gift is basically what you're learning today. The version of QuickBooks you're looking at now on my screen, it's called QuickBooks Online Adobe. The subscription, our audience to basically have that now. So we're going to, for the next 30 days, have the first 20 people onboarded on this platform, so that whatever it is I'm working on, you can log in at will and see how the application can be used or what is being used for. I may decide to set up a database that will joining. Let me do us a bit of the honor of sharing my video briefly so we can just have a look of the structure. Thank you so much. It's me here in Lekki, Lagos. Please drop your questions if you have questions. The ones we're going to take today, we'll take them. Feel very free. QuickBooks, I'm going to tell you whatever it is that will help your business or help the business you're working on. This is one of the most versatile application that can be used to manage, quote me, anytime, any business. It can be used to manage in the cloud. Especially if you're in manufacturing. It's only manufacturing you may not use the online to run. Aside that, training. Michael, and then also another partner, Michael. Sanam is working from outside the office today. All right, so I will be starting out by explaining something you need to understand when you want to deploy QuickBooks Online. First, what is QuickBooks Online, or what is QuickBooks? QuickBooks is an enterprise resource planning software that can be used to manage day-to-day operation of any business, be it procurement, sales, inventory. Should I call it, have this misconception that QuickBooks is an accounting software. It's a truth that is not complete. It's about 15%, 20% maximum complete. QuickBooks is actually an enterprise, meaning a business resource ranked. So go for it often than not. And that has taken over the fact that people think that QuickBooks, the same thing, accounting, 3 aspects of QuickBooks. I'll try to do that in 45 minutes, and I'll give you the room to ask questions. The questions, someone is going to man the area of whose hand is up first, and then who should answer later. You can drop your question directly. At one point, I will allow the whole house to speak one after the other. If somebody has answered the question that you have in mind, please recognize that it's an answer so you can save us some time. For me, I don't have a problem. I do this, I love this. I can sit and teach on business management using tech softwares like QuickBooks for 5 hours, 6 hours, but we don't want to take people's time for granted. Usually, online trainings, by rule of thumb, between 1 hour. First, to yourself on board as practice, I may ask you to do it on the screen at any given time so that I can see what you've done. You may just know that because you were among the first 20, you have our attention that in the next 2 weeks, we practically will be serving you using the QuickBooks software. My team thought I'm crazy making that offer, but it's a way to honor those who actually respect time and at the same time who show great interest that they want to be part of what they have. It's a bit shake. I keep noticing that their network shakes. Okay, so the first I keep noticing that their network shakes. Okay, so the first thing we've just done, or the first thing I've just done is to the second thing we need to get straight and clear understanding. You know, in my mind's eye, if I close my eyes, what should I be seeing that will give me this clarity, not to be confused or not to be clouded as to what to do with the application for my business or for the organization that I work on. So there's something we call the big picture of enterprise resource planning software, the big picture. Taking QuickBooks as an example, there are 3 from 5, just call them the 3-5, the big picture of QuickBooks. Taking QuickBooks as an example, there are 3 from 5, just are categorized into 3 different 5s. You need to pay close attention, 3 different 5. Yeah, they're categorized into 3. Let me, before I hand over this, let's see, I might need to record this for those who learn. So I've just initiated the recording so that we will have something to share with you in case experts, global experts for more than 15 years. I have deployed QuickBooks for more than 120 companies across 4 countries, trained more than 3,000 people, and then presently we are taking our expertise to the global community across WOP, Etsy Digital, and then through one other major platform like Udemy. The reason being that what we do and do very well, we've noticed that there's a lot of, it really isn't this one tool that helps the basic software. Please bear that in mind. It handles procurement, handles sales, handles HR related online version that can be used across. One of the basic things, there are 3 parts, 3 basic QuickBooks so that it doesn't appear basic things, there are 3 parts, 3 basic QuickBooks so that it doesn't appear complicated to you. So what are these 3 5s? Or what is this 3 big picture we're talking to you? So what are these 3 5s? Or what is this 3 big picture we're talking about? The first part has to do with the front end of the QuickBooks. On the screen you will see customers, suppliers, team, project, and others. Now I can break that up into 5 different segments. First, we have customers, and then we have suppliers, then we have team, which is what you call your employees, and we have company and banking. So the front end of QuickBooks, the first 5 are what I've just mentioned: customers, suppliers, employees, what you call team, company, and banking. You can just sketch something out that way, so it will give you a kind of guide: customers, suppliers, team or employees, banking, and then company. Bear that in mind. That's the front end. The back end of the application, meaning everything you do at the front end of the software has a corresponding effect at the back end. I kept silent, so looking at now inventories, buying or selling your inventory items, using invoicing, paying your employees or paying the staff, investors or owners depositing money into the system, whatever it is, there is a process and a way to handle that, whether you're using the online QuickBooks software or you're using the desktop. So the front end is your first friend. Customers, suppliers, employees, company, banking. Then usually they call it the chart of accounts. The accountant calls it chart of accounts. Whatever your business globally, these 5 books are the same. Whatever your business is globally, they are income, expense, assets, equity, liability. Income, expense, assets, equity, liability. I'm pausing a bit so that it will also sink in. It doesn't real estate. You own a travel and tour company. Whatever it is, these 5 books remains the same in Russia, in America, in Lithuania, in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Australia. The interface of the application, it must have corresponding effects at the back end. So once again, the front ends are employees or team, banking, and then company. That's the front end. Then the back end, income, expense, assets, equity, liability. Anything I do at the front end must appear somewhere at the back end, or else I've done nothing. Then the last 5, more or less, not like a fingerprint or something written on the screen. It's what we call, within our own training sphere, the lean wealth system that we've established. It's what we call caution part. There are also 5 caution parts. Every time you accurately, akin to what the banking people also do, the tellers. Every time you give them a teller, you give them a check or whatever it is, the instrument you are giving to a teller in the bank, that particular teller, that front desk personnel must look at certain information to make sure they are accurate. So the same thing applies to running the time. Meaning, if you use the application to execute 25 transactions or operations in a day, you must repeat that same act 25 different times. Don't be too quick to say, that's a lot of work. Well, I don't know anything that is good that is not work, so you should make up your mind to enjoy the work. If you invest, let's say, $1,000, give the right time and the right attitude, I want to say, with regards to what to do. So, what's the third 5, which is what we've been talking about? Caution act. The caution acts are basic things. First is name. Please take note of that. And second, date. Third is the terms of the transaction. The fourth is account or item. And the 5th, amount. So where do we find this? Let me open a form. If I take a form, I'm trying to just move up a bit fast. If I pick up a form on QuickBooks, let's take sales related transaction. Okay, so I pick an invoice. Sales related transaction. So that's the chart of account, by the way, for the one created that's behind the scene. So if I take an invoice, for example, there's an existing invoice there, just a sample customer invoice, and let me open this invoice. So let's that's an invoice. You're running this. Let me stop that. Okay. The left button, press and hold. Okay. Alright. So your phone numbers, all your details are there. Take a close look at this invoice. It may be a sample invoice, but there are a number of things you need to know. If this is your caution of the customer, so let's just to make this a day name. Sorry, I like this. Let me say Chevron Construction. I'm repeating it also where it just for the purpose of this training, I'm only going to put the name of the company, the name of the contact person. This training, I'm only going to put the name of the company, the name of the contact person, phone numbers, address of company, all questions. So I'm going to save just this customer record now, so we can be a bit faster with what we're doing. Okay, a little bit okay. It's great. Okay. Sorry, I have a little glitch. Okay, let me just explain that quickly before I get through with that. So, what I wanted to point. Okay, what I wanted to point out is just for you to be able to relate the 3 5s that we mentioned as the basic for running the application at any given time. Remember that the first 5 we talked about are your front end, or what you call user interfaces, and the predominant one among them is your invoice, your customers, your suppliers, employees, bank with your income. Time when you are running a transaction or imputing a record within your system, we're told, or we're sharing with us here, that you should bear in mind there's something called caution act, meaning you must execute or implement that caution act at every given time. What does that mean? That there are 5 things every time you pick up a form on QuickBooks or any ERP solution, you must respect those 5 things. Repeat them as though they are things you must do at every other time, not as though actually. That's what you need to do if you want to get accurate records. And what are those 5 things? First, I mentioned that it have to be the name of whatever the recipient is of that transaction in question. It is an invoice related transaction. You need to take note of the name of the customer first, and then secondly, the date of the net 50, the item, and lastly, you have going to find these 5 areas there. You can't miss this anywhere. Even if you are using a physical invoice, a paper invoice, if you notice, you find the same record. But for digital application like ERP solutions and QuickBooks being that specifically, those 5. So now take this tangible items or you're selling services. This is where it gets a little bit technical. This is where it gets a little bit technical. For an invoice, if you see the service is an invoice. So if it is a sales related transaction, when you link it directly to your chart of account, it will hit on the income side. On the income side. If it's a product you have, account. If it's a product you have, account or item. Now if it's a product related or item. Now if it's a product related transaction, just like the product you're seeing, here, let me move this up a little bit. If it's a product you're doing, and how I click and I click this service, it's straight on. The service must have been designed in such a way that it goes straight to your chart of account. Let's say you sell foods that have been packaged in 1 kilograms, 5 kilograms of cocoa. This part, you're going to be selecting an item that has been set up in the inventory side. So let me show you where the products are. An item that has been set up. It may not be very easy for you to completely comprehend this part, but take a look at this setup side where when you want to add a new inventory item. So if you look at this setup, I am saying that I also buy it. I am saying that I also buy it. This you see what I was saying directly. I want to use the cost of goods sold account. Yeah, so cost of sales. That's what I want to use to track it, and I will just save it now. This time around, it's the diff. All that C15. Shop or before you start selling, and if a professional is helping you to do your setup, then your records from your balance sheet, whether audited or management, are so you don't have to do activity. Because this is a fresh and a new, I have to raise this new account. So that I can onboard 20 people who came in first to have a look. Even after this training, you have a feel of what the application is like at any given time. You can log in from anywhere with your record, and then you'll be able to have a feel of that. So here it's laptop. The sales information talks about the information that should be on that system. HP laptop, when you are buying it, HP laptop 15 series. Let's see. Okay, so that's the information when you're buying. So this is the sales part. Now for every sales related setup you make, there must be a sales related income to track the money when you sell. So I want to call this product income. Now is a chart of account, so to speak. So every time a HP laptop 15 series is sold, this income account or sales of product income will be populated. Because that I have to paste in the record I copied there, so that was, so let's So HP. Okay. Now the difference between this purchasing side and the sales side, when I was setting up the sales side, is that at the sales side the account there is an income account. At the purchase side, the account here will have to be a cost account. The one directly related to administrative cost or expenses, and the one directly related to cost of sales. What differentiates them usually? I think direct costs that are directly linked to the item in question are considered cost of sales, or some accountants call it the cost of goods sold. So because it's a tangible item, it's always better, and the rule of thumb in finance and accounting is up right from. So I need to add that. I don't, it's a little bit complicated, but let me just go on and call that cost of goods, cost of, it's an expense, but the cost of sales. So it's called cost of, not cost of labor, it should be cost of products, supplies and materials. Okay. This, however, if you don't as a business owner or a creator or a co-founder, that may can as well. But cost of goods sold for tangible item. But these are tangible, and my address due to the address Victoria Island. Let's say Victoria Island. Okay, so on the invoicing, I just need to go to the procurement side and spend a little more time. That's the basic 40% you need to understand when you're using an ERP solution. The other ones are technical things you might need to read in between lines. For example, we have a professional digital guide, or what we call an ebook, that's being sold globally for those who want to learn to use the QuickBooks for themselves. It's called the QuickBooks Online Digital Guide. You can find that on Seller, on Work, and other places. Maybe our team will drop a link for you so you can look that up if you care to have one, in order to deepen what you're learning today. Aside that, I wanted to create a little bit of clarity to the issue of the caution act. The caution act, like I said earlier, are actions you need to take every other time you are in due dates. It must be 2 days. Due on receipt dates, and the due date will differ by 2 weeks. 60, net 45, net 90, not afterwards. And the due date, it mentioned whether it's an item that has been set up on your inventory database, whether as a service item or a normal item, it will appear here as an item. Meaning you can track it directly from. If it is not set up as an inventory item or service, it's the account that will appear of whatever you're doing. When you're paying a staff or you're paying an internal member of the organization, you won't be able to use this. You use the category aspect of QuickBooks. We will enable that shortly. But let's finish this. Okay, quantities and then in stock. In stock, and you do not have them. When it reports and tells you don't have, no matter how fast you are at that time, go back to your database and then correct that. If you have in stock but it's not uploaded on the system, then you upload it within the system before you sell. Because if you keep raising invoices and they don't correspond with what you have in your stock, you will be creating run so large. Even if it's started, sometimes takes up to 5 minutes to do that, 3 minutes. Don't worry about that. If you do 20 transactions in a day and you apportion to 2 minutes to each of them at any given time, you might be a bit, you may need to be a bit team drop some several job of the pro to be detailed. So the caution act is the system, because this is actually a real account, somebody's account. So the simple thing is that if you raise 2 items, even if you have 3 or 4 or 5, 6 items, you can always select them within your database and then impute the quantity, maybe change if the quantity is 4, impute the quantity, impute the rate, then the system will have the things you pay. Most of the things that relates with your invoice, like taxes or quantities and all of that, they usually come up when you are setting up. But to show amount or amount of all of the advantage of for the online here, you can share the invoice for the online here. You can share the invoice your customer's email. Let me clear this invoice now. I don't expect you to completely get perfection with regards to using this invoice now. So I'm going to clear the invoice so I can go quickly to the procurement side of the application. Alright. So let me clear, I'll clear the invoice and move on to So, or the homepage on QuickBooks, and you can access a lot of your homepage items by clicking this create this plus tab here, or just touching it to appear. Show you details about your customers, the suppliers, your employee, what you call team, if you're handling project. QuickBooks Online company, that's a little bit advanced from using window access to do all your setup, including immediately with record of the first 20 it up. Access not of the application is a paid one. This is not trial. So whatever you're seeing here is the real thing about QuickBooks Online Advanced. The QuickBooks Online Advanced. The QuickBooks Online again for the enterprise resource plan. QuickBooks Online again for the enterprise resource planning software deployed. As the case is that with the on desktop you can do the manufacturing, but the online will require an expert. Let's put it to a trainer's training like we are to be able to use the online to set up a little bit an expert. Let's put it to a trainer's training like we are to be able to use the online to set up a little bit of production, but not hardcore production. Okay. Then secondly, we did talk about that every ERP solution. QuickBooks being a specific has ERP solution. QuickBooks being a specific has 5 areas you need to take note of. QuickBooks being a specific has 5 areas you need to take note of. We call it the big picture, and they are each of these have a section. When I touch this create, each of these have a section. When I touch this create item, you can see the customer side item. You can see the customer side. You see the supplier and the team are here. Then the last one that is you see the supplier and the team are here. Then the last one that is order has to do with the rise the front. The last one that is order has to do with the rise the front end. And that back end 5 order has to do with the rise the front end. And that back end 5 are what end. And that back end 5 are what the accountant clicks on account. If you scroll in here everything, just look carefully at this particular one up till where you have current assets. Up to current assets here, up to here. Everything up to that one, they are all assets. Then every other thing from it is income, all of the incomes or the finances, blue chip, white collar, name it. I don't know what categorization is. Blue chip, white collar, name it. I don't know what categorization is best for it today. They are all categorized. Their back end or chart of accounts are categorized by that 5. Then lastly, we mentioned that the are categorized by that 5. Then lastly, we mentioned that the third 5 you need to take note of has to do with what on your or third 5 you need to take note of has to do with what on your or jump. And those 5 eyes, account has to do with big picture. Very important. It's not a simple, you just need to give it some time to master it. Okay, so after that we went on to try to generate an invoice. I didn't complete the transaction, so we won't say because this is a real life transaction. So you will see the entries we'll do there. The first 20 people, like we mentioned, when you log in later, an invoice for a customer called Chevron Construction. So now we want to move on to an expense-related transaction. In order to get, don't get a bit discouraged or carried away because this is an online app. Sometimes how to just know what you need to do is important. Whenever I train students globally or within the country, I always remind them what's most important. I want to post. We run solar here, okay? Nigerian touch the paying. So don't do every money that you can do, every money that you can't tell the bank I want to pay my expenses. You usually say, please, I need to pay some bills. Yes, overseas, if you have friends overseas and you ask them to please raise me not too much, water bill, cleaning bill, all those bills, they will not tell you our expenses are too much. Now, is expenses wrong? No, it's not. It's not a complete thing you're trying to say. Outflows, money going out of a business is a bill. However, there are 2 kinds of bills. The bills you basically. Yeah, so the bills you want to manage, you want to start at one point and then end later. They can call those ones your normal bills and then pay bill. Let me take that again. If you go to a supermarket for whatever, what's that and co, and your total bill is 39,000 naira here, $39. Now you are paying fully for that item at the spot. How much out of the 30 of this? However, let's call this ship a vessel. What's the total rate of what they supply? Units are 21 different items, and the cost of those items are $210. To us, they are cost. We may most likely negotiate out of this $210, which may be 210,000 naira. Can we pay you 100? Usually gives you an opportunity money at a given point, and the outflow, that's the expense form. Pay the balance. Please use the bill. That to see. So let's say I'm on the bill section. This is the bill for this. No, they are called bills. Every single outflow, whether the one you pay immediately or the one you want to pay part or you pay later, they are bills. They are bills. Okay, so at this bill form, we want to raise, what do we want to do? I click the tab at the top and say create bill. By clicking create bill, I'm simply instructing my system that I want to capture an outflow, an expense that we have incurred or want to incur. So this is the bill form. If you watch, there is a similarity between this bill form and then your invoice form. The only difference is that one is for your outflow, the other is for your inflow. Which one is for your outflow is the bill form. Which one is for your inflow is the expense form. I'll just put energy. Why do I add renewable energy? Renewable energy also appears when the bill is being raised. Then that of the. But for now, it appears as though it's just services. That's why you're not seeing that end. Yeah, the category, you see two things here: category and then products and services. The products directly links to your inventory database. The categories relates directly into your chart of account. You can or customer list, your suppliers list. Can't I coffee nuts about $2,000 or thereabouts every year for a user? But that's not necessary. That's our prayer. Let our businesses grow to the point that paying for it done that. So if you watch, because we're on the intangible part of the bill, meaning the service part core category, your account is appearing. So let's say tag, I'm paying tag for subscriptions or equipment rental. So it's easy to just pick this. Whereas if I bought from tag tangible items I want to resell, I won't be using this category part to do what? To track it. The 20s will on board, who came in, what are the products, what are the equipment. Now, I am having realized at this point is when you are the bill side, take note of two kinds of bill. If it is a bill that you want to manage, please use the direct bill form, the enter bill form, and then the pay bill will handle the payment afterwards. However, if it is a payment that is done once, do not use this bill form. Use the expense form. If you the check form, whereas the bill form, pay part now and pay the other later. Just bear that in mind. That will guide you as the case goes on. So that's the bill form of the application. At the end of the day, if you save it, it goes to your 1 hour 30 minutes instead of 1 hour 30 minutes. It's not enough. All right. Thank you for listening. That's not all, but let me allow us to ask questions. Who's going to coordinate that? Your questions will definitely bring us back to this place. What we just wanted you to know is a little bit of insight to how navigating the various areas. There are so many things that we can do. You can even generate your reports. You can click any of that. Look at the arrow here. If I click this arrow, I can generate standard reports, custom reports, management reports, even spreadsheets that can be synced, exported to your Excel sheet. So many things you can do. Sorry, but like I said, if you really want to learn a bit more than this, you can always leave a message for my team to drop a link for you so you can have a look at some of the materials we have, the ebook we've created over the past 10-15 years that companies overseas and within the country use to upgrade their knowledge of the application up to like 70-75%. So I'll just coordinate that.
Okay, Mr. Jibata is on.
Okay, so Jimat should ask questions first, and then after Jima to take note of the next person in line. Please, if someone else are taking your question, please just help us not to repeat the question again so we can save a lot of time. Okay. Yes, please. Jimat, please. Unmute and then speak, please. Thank you. Okay, after Jimat is Jude. Please, let's take Jimat first. Are you speaking?
Can anyone hear me?
Can you hear him? If you have double device around you, please can you maybe move away from the other or mute one, please. Okay. Okay. Clearly, line trial. The trial link there, and while I use and learn from it. However, we will onboard everyone we've onboarded at exactly on the 10th, let's say on the 10th of next month or whatever month, most likely. It all depends on how fast we need to onboard, or we need to onboard all the transactions that are related to this company that own it. We may have to onboard you out of that. But because you asked that question, that's also a plus. We will drop access a trial version that is peculiar to Nigeria, not the global one, and then you can use it to set up your trial version. You don't even need to GMAT, right? Okay, GMAT, can I? If voice is a challenge for you based on where you are at the moment, you can drop your question in the chat. We'll just take that. Yeah. Can you be a bit audible? So, Matt, can you drop your question as a chat, please? Maybe it could be our network or yours. I wouldn't know at the moment. Can you read the chat for me? Okay, so let me use the chat. Or how do we log into QuickBooks Online with your right? Okay, with your right away to get that done. Okay, Bukola, we will need to create a user for you. If you are among the first 20, we'll create a user. Just that's part of the training for today anyway, but it will be done now. Your email, the email you dropped showing that you were among the 20, that email along with your name will be used to create a user account for you, and it will appear on your email. Once you click your email, automatically it will know that you have onboarded on a page based on the rights we assign to you on the dashboard. Okay, GMAT, I promise sometimes technical glitches, you can't tell where they are. I can see everyone here. I'm sure you can hear me audibly, but kindly drop your question, Gmax, please. Okay, so while I wait for Gmax questions, please, who else has a question? Your question, even if it's 3, 4, 5 questions, I would take that. Just drop it. I'm looking at the chat window now. If you can just, I'm still finding it. Yeah, type your questions. If there are series of questions, drop them one after the other. While we wait for him, I know not administrating. How many people do you have now?
36.
24. Screenshot. I'm here on our ERP software line. If you're a small business, medium business, and your operations are still domiciled within a locality, for a start, I would advise you start with QuickBooks Desktop, maybe Desktop Premier. Even if you're a small business but your operations are scattered, let's say a staff is here in Lagos, another one in Abuja, another person in Port Harcourt, at Onitsha, or in Switzerland, South Africa, and you all do things that add to the net worth or value of the business in terms of sales or procurement, I would advise you start with QuickBooks Online. The distinct thing here is the QuickBooks Desktop is an infrastructure. When you buy, you own it, but the QuickBooks Online is an infrastructure that you pay rental to use. You don't really own it. So that's one small distinction. Can you move from one to the other? Yes, but that will require experts like us. But it's always good to start from the lower one and not start from the very top one. Yes. So then the disadvantage of the desktop to the online. For the desktop, you need to operate it on a Windows tab or laptop or desktop. Any of it. So with this side here, is between. If you want to, you can go. If you want to, you can go. I think it's better directly from Intuit. Yeah, definitely maybe 3 months. Online plus. These are the two. Usually, a company like us sometimes if you 25%, 25%. Online, you can pay the thereabout. Online, you can pay the thereabout and keep paying. Not being your 24 hours in order to do, and keep paying. Not being your 24 hours in order to do a lot of onboarding things, whether they are tangible or intangible, and then their chart of account. Chart of account is usually better. You use your audited report or management approved balance sheet to set up. If you don't know how to do that, that's what experts like us are there. That's what experts like us are there to do for you. Or you can also do what? Very well. Very well. I can hear you, yes. I can hear you, yes. Okay, you said remotely. Let's take it. This is cloud, Volta Cloud, Azure Cloud, whatever. You know, almost all the softwares, including the one on your phone that you are using, they are actually more like desktop softwares, but they were hosted in real-time cloud systems. What is cloud system? It's simply a computer that does not go off, like the computer in this office, because we use renewable energy here. The systems here have all been on since like 8 a.m. today. It stays from now windmills to power up their system. So their computers are on 24/7/52. So the softwares are hosted and then you are 24/7/52. So the softwares are hosted and then you are hosted. Advantage being that the software is yours. So if you don't want to pay for that cloud service again and you want your desktop back to your office so you can work within your office non-remotely, it's just to inform your expert and then they pull back your desktop software to you in the office, and you don't need that receive the money into it. So we can use it for 1 week or 2 weeks that we want to use it for those who are participating in this. So your question is yes for the desktop, yes, just also yes for the online, but for the desktop, additional level of expertise will be required. Please, what's your second question? If that is it, fine. If there's a second question,
yes.
books, no, there's a simple, because your expense and your staff payment, you probably are just using 10, 15. So if you want to upscale, maximize your usage of the application, you might need to go for a proficiency training in order to be able to use it to the maximum. Let me give you an example. If all our records are entered in this application for just this month, you know they are owing you money for XYZ time. You can even turn out the analytics of it, a graphical form of it, and present it for your training. Right there, you can also generate a report of customers that are owing you, accounts, receivable. Customers that clients, vendors you two are owing. You can generate so many reports, name the report, balance sheet report, profit and loss report, best sales, the top 5 sales customers, and what they bought at any given time. So many reports you can actually generate. But to know how to do all of that, you would probably need sorry, who is the person saying that I should just mute? Okay, so I've answered for the value you want, like training, setup of your account, all of that is hosted. You don't have any cost. That is fine, Miss Kola. Within YouTube streaming, do we have any questions? Okay. All right, I have a question. Let me type the application for you to have a simplistic overview of any of the ERP solution, QuickBooks being a reference point, that there's something called what, and what. Can someone help me? Give me, okay, the big picture is a combination of 3 5s. Let me be a bit more specific. Can you list on the chart the first 5, the third main head, the next 5 under it? The first person. Oh, Mr. Donald's hand. Okay, Mr. Donald. Why? I should have dropped that question before I question. Can you unmute, please?
Yes, I have. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why is it that your voice is the best? I'm hearing very audibly. Thank you. Maybe reception, it may just be you. Okay.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. So the big picture, which includes the liabilities and equities.
Please take the back end again. Take the back end again, please.
The back end, income, expenses, the caution app where we have the name of the customer, the date of the transaction, the or item, and the terms of transaction. Lastly, the amount.
Can you arrange the last one in the order with which I've repeated it several times? Can you arrange that, please?
Item stroke account and amount.
Awesome. Please, let's give her a hand. What's her name again? Donald, impressive. I'm among the first to drop your name and email for me. Judonic said 3 big 5s: front end, customers, suppliers, team, company, banking. The back end, income, expense part is missing. Donald, and Noambasi. It looks like I'm going to take on a student. We'll just take the phone number. Add the terms. Something is missing. Okay, why I'm stressing this? Okay, thank you so much, Donald. Thank you so much. To just give you some offers that will help you get better at this. If I know what your vision or your objective is, I may not be able to announce what I'm going to do for the 2 of you, but 1 male, 1 female, certainly I'll do something much more than that, and it's going to be measurable. It's going to be measurable. Thank you so much for making us all proud, showing that we're all listening, and that is impressive. So I really want to draw the curtain here. Is there any last question, whether it's directly related or not, or a request anything. And let me okay for you or for someone you know. One of the link is on the ebook on QuickBooks Online that we have. We also have the one for QuickBooks Desktop. If you are in West Africa, I mean Nigeria specifically, you can visit the seller page. It's something we've spent 15 years deploying QuickBooks for more than 100 plus companies and trained more than 3,000 people across 4 countries. And it has been kind of put together, or should I call it compressed in about 20-25 pages ebook for a week. You most likely will be at about 60 or 75% proficiency using the application. So the first link will, or if you're outside the country, basically you might click the group what we call the QuickBooks group we're setting. It's also optional. Usually we like to keep the group up for about 3 months period, and we disband the group not to crowd people. And that group, I also leave a link for ERP solution, but what we call proficiency. You can use that and you'll be able to say you use the application. Several of those who've trained are in high demand across board. We actually have job opening, you must have seen on our status too, from high network companies asking for those that we've trained and certified so that they could hire them. Unfortunately, very little are usually available. Most times they live outside the country because it's a globally rated application. So the ebook on QuickBooks Online, or you want the ebook on QuickBooks Desktop, and the other is an invite to join our Lean Wealth System page, where you can have additional questions. Ask your question at liberty and we will answer you based on that. Even if you don't want to use it, please, you can as well share it with friends. Let me see, it looks like we have question. Okay, so I have Abasi Donald, thank you. I have your details, so I'm going to keep that detail. Then Jude Dominic also, I think I have his detail. For both of you, I owe you something beyond just all, including your smartphone. So the only difference between the QuickBooks Online and the desktop is that the online, you can use it, you can use your smartphone on it, but not all the features you can use on your smartphone. Compact, I mean a bit elaborate. So that's that. Then please, are we having this class? We said, if you see, do you have the group link? Have you dropped it? Oh, you sent it to everyone? Everyone on the platform that participated. Awesome. Okay, my team said that there's a group link that has been sent to you. It's an invite. We intend to do this at least once every month. It's once and thereabouts, and partners that pay for $500 to pay uses. Tomorrow they may be able to pay for other people. So announcement the way we did them blasted month. So if you join that group once every month, at the time when we can't, I mean, just do a short video on WhatsApp for us to be installed on QuickBooks Desktop. QuickBooks Desktop is not subscription. QuickBooks Desktop is one-off purchase, but there is a subscription that Intuit created also in case you want to use their cloud. QuickBooks Desktop can be installed on laptop, can be installed on tablet that has window, all in one. Buy the cloud, you can access it from any device that you can use to access your cloud base. All depends on the strength of that. And the next person says, please. On what? Okay, okay, the registration form. Okay, all those who registered via the registration form. Okay, and you're the one asking that question. Definitely, we will contact you because you are our question. We answered our question correctly. Yes, but every other person that filled the registration form, you will see the link on your page. If it was via email, it will come to you. If it was via WhatsApp, it will come with regards to QuickBooks, or you want resources using ERP solutions like QuickBooks. If there are other offers, it may just be some ebooks that will help you get better at what you do. But predominantly, it will be that. What's the platform? Okay, thank you too. Yeah, it's WhatsApp. Okay, it's on WhatsApp. Yeah, all right. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. Please confirm that you link can run for several hours, page until 6:15. So the chat will still be up in case you have a question that still needs to be taken, that every other person, thank you so much, work page, and then question on this, either a pre-recorded transaction, a pre-recorded training that I would have done and post for you to react to, ask question based on that. But please, if you enter that forum, I am one of those who don't like to be bothered on platforms, and I don't bother people. But if it's related, you can tell us when to open the platform, whether it's going to be once every Saturday or some days we open it. So we don't have to bug people or disturb people. Let it be squarely on value addition as related to enterprise resource planning software. It was part of earlier message sent with the Zoom link invite. Yes, correct. That's correct. Thank you, Miss Oluwabukola. Thank you for answering that. Yes, it was part of. Thank you. Yeah, it helps, Bukola. Thank you. It does help. It does help. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Please do enjoy the rest of your evening. Venture, you've been on transit. You didn't ask any question and you remember what you want to ask. I can still answer your question between now and 6:15. Otherwise, you can gently and honorably overview, proceed. And if you don't have the email, you can just click that, admit yourself to the platform very well. He will welcome to be on Monday. We trust you too will not have had this training. For those of us who were on Facebook, on YouTube, please bear with us. We know you are there actually. If you drop your questions or you drop your chats, we will definitely respond to you, even if we may responding to you privately if you have a link by which we can do that at the moment. We appreciate you all. Thank you all for attending, and do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, and bye-bye. I'm muted now. Okay. Sorry.